Today we create a patch using the Tip Top Audio Z3000, the Doepfer A147 voltage controlled LFO, the filter module from Pittsburgh Modular. We're going to skip the ADSR from Pittsburgh Modular. We're simply going to go straight to the mixer after that. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to fire up our controller, which is the Keith McMillan Q Nexus, and we're going to find ourselves a cable and connect the gate output, the CV output, from the Q Nexus, and we're going to go directly into our Z3000 oscillator. And as you can see right here, it says CV in, so it's pretty simple. A few things to concern yourself with the Z3000. Just trying to get that cable out of the way. It's basically an oscillator, so it will create the waveform that we're going to be using for our example. As you can see here, we have a sine wave, we have a triangle wave, a sawtooth available to us, and a square wave. So we're going to start with the triangle wave, and we're going to insert that into our mixer. Yeah, so that's a direct hit from the oscillator, and turn that on again. Control the module, the volume here, and as you can hear, we can alter the frequency with the frequency knob, and if we click on this here, we can see what note we're playing. At the moment we're playing an F, and we're going to stick to, no, we're going to go a little bit lower, somewhere around there, and that's good. So having an oscillator directly into the mixer is probably not the most desirable sound. You want to be able to modulate that to give it some life. So we're going to, once again, actually we're going to choose the sawtooth, and we're going to input that into the filter. As you can see, we've got the, the input right over here. I'm going to put that in there. And the next thing we're going to do is find a different cable, and we're going to plug the output. We've got a low and high pass filter output. We have a high pass filter output, a band pass here as well, and the low pass is right over here. So we're going to choose the low and the high pass, which is selectable using the LH knob here, and connect that. So if we turn this one counterclockwise, we have a complete low pass filter. This is the resonance, or the Q. Yeah, cool. And if we turn this fully clockwise, then we have a high pass filter. I like the low pass, so we're going to stick to that. Keep it right there. Our frequency is set. So there you go. I mean, that's a simple patch that we can play using our Keith McMillan Q Nexus. You'll notice one of the main differences with a modular synthesizer versus a regular synthesizer. The, I guess, regular synthesizer, as I'm calling it, will respond to a note-on message, and every time you press the note, then you will hear the synthesizer, whereas with a modular synthesizer, it's always on, and the CV messages are the ones that alter that. You can actually send a gate message which will remove the sound, but I'm sending CV right now, which is giving it pitch data, and it's altering the pitch. So it's kind of works topsy-turvy. And Once again, we have a basic patch, probably not the most interesting. So this is where you can start to make it interesting. We have a voltage controlled LFO here that, as you can see, it lights intermittently according to the frequency that is set in the frequency knob here. So what I'm going to do is actually choose one of these outputs, and I'm going to go with the triangle here. I'm sorry, with the sawtooth, and we're going to insert that into the CV input of the filter. So as you can see, we've got some action going. Of course, the tempo of these can be controlled via the reset input, and you just have to get some CV clock coming out of your DAW. I'll explain that in another video. Turn that up a little. You can get some really interesting effects if you just move around. Actually, the way I had the filter set up with the Pittsburgh modular, I actually had it in self-oscillating mode, which is a little heavier than a regular filter. When you have this selector switch, when you select the F, which is to the left, then the oscillator will simply pass through the filter. Which is the simplest way to go. But if you want to mess with its own self-oscillator, then you just press, put the switch in the 0 position, or the O position rather. The range of sounds is astonishing. Let's choose a different wave. Not good. Sine. Cool. The only other thing I'd like to say is that I do have this whole setup running through the Apollo and using the Universal Audio console application. I am running it through some processing, maybe a DBX 160, an 1176, and a Fugger kind of plugin they have as well, as some reverb in a reverb insert send. So that's today's little walkthrough, and I hope that you can find some value in it. Have a great day.